So Kemba Walker is the Celtics' new all-star point guard. They went from Isaiah to Kyrie to Kemba. And if Kemba is going to be better than Kyrie for the Celtics, I think it would maybe be because the offense will look a little bit more like it did with Isaiah, where Stevens has Kemba moving off the ball and all that stuff, handoff plays, off-ball screens, the whole 9 yards, which Kyrie didn't really want to do. Like, you could do that with Kyrie somewhat, but number one, he's not as athletic as Isaiah or Kemba. Number two, dude wants to ISO. Now, of course, Kemba's still going to ISO. He's going to do his pick and rolls. He's going to do that stuff. But if he can also just have a lot of buckets where offense is created from him just because the Celtics offense is moving around a lot, then that'd be really cool. I mean, you compare that to the Hornets, where the dude had to run a lot of screens because the offense was not that creative, and then there weren't a lot of guys for the defense to really respect. And you go and take that and look at the Celtics situation, and yeah, there's questions about the talent around him in terms of Hayward's health and how good really is Jason Tatum, basically. But I am pretty optimistic that we're going to see a better Kemba Walker. I mean, like with the Hornets, the guy took 9 threes a game and shot, 35-36%, something like that. And I can picture him getting at least 1 or 2 of those that are a little more open for the Celtics. I could see him getting a couple of extra cut plays a game or something like that, to just boost up his percentages that were already pretty good, and his degree of difficulty was decently high because, again, like the team around him in Charlotte wasn't exactly good. So there's that. And now the Celtics offense will have a pulse, because I think without him, and whether that would have been re-signing Rozier or getting like Ricky Rubio or something, the Celtics offense would have been looking pretty rough. So Kemba being here is cool. I expect him to be the leading shot taker, leading scorer, and all that stuff. But of course, there's other things here. So the loss of Horford is probably going to be pretty damn big for this team. Defensively, I don't think anybody here is as good of a defender as Horford. I know Marcus Smart is Marcus Smart, but what Horford did at the center position, I think, will always have more of an impact than what Marcus does, whether he's defending guards or wings or whatever. So to lose him is rough. But also on offense, it's rough because he was so good at setting up the Celtics point guards, right? Pick and rolls, pick and pops, pulling the big out of the paint. He could handle the ball himself and run handoff plays with the point guards and all that. So for Kemba to not have that, that's a little rough, definitely. And I don't know who the Celtics center is going to be, whether it's trading for Clint Capella or Daniel Tice ends up being the starting 5, which I don't think is the intention of this front office and coaching staff, but sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do. So whoever they may end up getting, that player is not going to have the Al Horford bag of tricks, right? So that will make it a little tougher for the Celtics to do basically anything that they've done for the last couple of years. Now, I do trust Brad Stevens to then be like, okay, I don't have Horford, so I got to do something else. But I don't see any other option being as good. So there's that. But now if we look at just, like, what can Gordon Hayward do for Kemba? Well, there's a chance that Hayward is, I guess, the second best passer on this team besides Kemba. So if Hayward's going to be a guy who can really create offense again, which we have to assume, I mean, it's been 2 years since his injury, so if it's not going to happen now, it just might never happen. But if it does, then he might be able to create some shots for Kemba, where Gordon just beats his guy off the dribble, and not that defenders are going to leave Kemba open, but it might happen a couple times. So Kemba could get some easier looks that way. There's definitely reason to be scared of Tatum's shot selection and mindset and all that, but we would hope that with Kyrie being gone, maybe it's just a little easier, like on Tatum's brain, basically, because if you go into the relationship that Kyrie had with the young dudes, it wasn't exactly good. So maybe Tatum will just be a little more at ease when he's on the floor. He does still need to clean up some problems, mainly taking mid-rangers, but that could be cool. Also, the fact that Rozier is in Charlotte and Marcus Morris is maybe gone, we don't really know with him yet. That could just be more shots to go Tatum's way. Not even just shots, but possessions, which is something that I pull out every time I defend Jason Tatum, so there's that. Jalen, I expect to play off of all of this pretty well, whether it's corner threes, transition, and just creating his own offense through occasional offensive rebounds and cuts to the basket, and just doing Jaylen Brown things to generate about 15 points a game. I think all that's going to be fine. I think hopefully this will mean Jalen doesn't have to create pretty much ever, because I think where his handle is at right now would suggest you don't really want him dribbling, so hopefully Kemba can just keep the ball out of Jalen's hands. And hopefully Jalen is at least all the way away from the expectation of the amount of shots he's going to get, because that was definitely a problem for him to start last season. He eventually figured it out and was maybe like the third best player on the team for probably last year, but even so, I don't think we've had enough time of Jaylen Brown realizing his place in the pecking order yet, so hopefully he just doesn't come out of the gates really bad like he did this previous season. So how good is the Celtics team going to be? I think they're going to be pretty good. I think the center spot still is a big deal, right? Whether that means it's a guy who's going to be able to make shots, and I don't really know who's available at this point who can do that. Whether it's a trade for like Domantas Sabonis, which I guess is a possibility. I don't know. That's still the big domino to fall for them. But I think in terms of perimeter talent, this team looks good, and I could picture them definitely being a playoff team in the East, and I don't think they compete with Milwaukee or Philly, but assuming Kawhi leaves, which we don't know, he could stay, but if he left, I think the Celtics would be competing with probably the Pacers for the, third or fourth spot, and then if Kawhi stays, that knocks everything down a little bit. But some teams have also gotten better. I think Orlando has momentum. I think the Pistons have built something up. So, yeah, I mean, the Celtics will definitely be an interesting thing. But Kemba agreeing to be here for the next 4 years is definitely a lot better than what it was looking like when Kyrie and Horford left.